Okay, we are on. We are on now.
Okay. So we are live. So good evening and welcome everyone to Naveda's Season 2 Talk Series. I am Veena Dansingani, founder, director, and alopecia hair loss specialist of Naveda Integral Wellness Center in Hong Kong, which is the first value-based integral wellness center offering a transformative health experience to its clients. So today, after running our very successful 80 is the new 50 panel discussions consistently for 9 months in 2021, from January 21st, 2021 to almost September. We are very proud that we consistently achieved this, accomplished this, and where we actually learned about what it takes to be healthy, happy, active, and purposeful, and especially for those who are 50 plus. What keeps them youthful, what keeps them energetic, and what keeps them alive. We have ran this program and together with Dr. Sanjay Nagarkar and also Mr. Lal Darinani, who has been the campaign's brand ambassador. So we have learned throughout the 9 months what has actually kept them, purposeful, happy, healthy, youthful, alert. And we have also last year ran some spiritual events, yoga series, and we nicely ended it with celebrating Ayurveda Day, where the key focus of that particular day was nutrition. So Naveda, in collaboration with the Institute of Learning and Development, brings you yet another beautiful initiative in 2022, which is Eat Well, Live Well. It's a talk series where we will learn from our thought leaders all about food and how it impacts our lives, lives of our loved ones, and also the entire planet, which we also call Mother Earth. Many times we hear our parents mutter, "Don't waste your food. You are disrespecting the gods." The food we consume not only tantalize our taste buds and fill our stomachs, but provide us with nutrition for growth and development. That alone should render its importance and be treated with respect. But like in everything in Hindu Dharma, the food we consume also has a goddess, which ensures the nutrition we get. Goddess Annapurna. Anna means food in Sanskrit, and Purna means complete. So today we have Dr. Sanjay Nagarkar, who is a world-renowned scientist, microbiologist from the PhD from the University of Hong Kong, and who has published more than 100 scientific papers, research articles, and more, and invented 83 technologies in preventive healthcare, environmental science, ecology, nutraceuticals, and functional foods. We also have with us Mr. Lal Darinani, who has been Naveda's 80 is the New 50 campaign ambassador, Naveda's director, and who we have learned from what keeps him healthy, happy, active, purposeful, and alive, and who has inspired thousands of people from all around the world to transform their lives. And Naveda has become a platform for all to live life Naveda way and to experience this paradigm shift. So, Dr. Sanjay and Mr. Lal Darinani, welcome to this platform once again, and we are so excited to kick off this food series, this food talks with both of you. And Dr. Sanjay, you always enlighten and inspire so many of us all around the world. So yes, please do share with us about this new campaign that we have kicked off today.
Thanks, Veena. Hello, Mr. Lal.
Hello.
It's nice to see, very excited. Last year, we remember, we started this 80s New 50 campaign on Thursday, 2021. And Thursday was on 21st of January, okay? And 2022 is today, Thursday, is on 20th of January. So it is like almost one day in advance. This year we are starting. So very exciting year, looking forward. Last year, actually, if we review our whole 9 months, everyone will find like we have done a lot of interesting stuff over there. A lot of inspiration, a lot of knowledge, a lot of motivation, and everything was initially revolving around, I remember, Mr. Lal, around you, because the idea was like to celebrate your 80th birthday on 15th of April, right? So we kicked off inspiring people that if Mr. Lal can live so energetically, vital life, happy life, with a good health and a spirit, why can't other people, right? So that's a kind of a memory flashback I can still remember very strongly. And then a lot of people started joining from different countries and became a regular stakeholder with us and participating on a daily basis. And especially Mr. Lal, you, that I remember like you are always out enjoying your life, but Thursday we kept you in front
Stage.
of yes, right? So
Right.
that's very interesting.
Yes.
So I think like today session is our first session. We try to keep like a little bit more interactive and try to give our audience a kind of perspective that what we are going to do throughout the year, right? So as Veena, you mentioned last year that we started with 80's New 50 campaign, which was mostly revolving around Mr. Lal's life and inspiring and bringing so many role models like those who were 80 and even 80 plus, right? So the inspiration series, like people, those who are 50 years, 55, 60, who can get inspired by Mr. Lal, and then a series of inspiration, like younger people can get inspiration. So the idea was like when people cross 50, they should not see that I have nothing to do, you know. So the whole idea is like putting like 25, 30 more active years in life, or added more 25, 30 years in life. So I think like I will take this as last year, we added 25 to 30 more active years to our audience life.
Yes.
Okay. If our audience understood, and I think they understood, um, they could very easily follow, because whatever we have given to them, it's a kind of a tool to use in their life, right? And very easily. So yes, so that's a very happy part. Like people can add 25, 30 years active life years in their life. That was the one success of last year, our campaign 80 is New 50. And then we started a kind of like a lot of explanation on Indian medicinal plant in the later half, right? And it is very important because in a global scenario, we keep hearing so many supplements, nutraceutical, about food, healthy food, many things. But by and large, the knowledge about Indian medicinal plant is quite rare, because in a global platform like in India, we know those names, right? People usually speak, but international platform like people don't um, use those names, and sometimes it is out of the vocabulary, like the international vocabulary. So though it has a very interesting uh, health benefit, but somehow missing from a solution plate, right? So just take one example, like we talk so much about ashwagandha, right? So ashwagandha is a very common name for us, like for Indians. But like when we go and talk ashwagandha in a global platform, like people immediately jump towards the ginseng, right? And people talk like, okay, there is a Siberian ginseng, Korean ginseng, American ginseng. So the idea is, why not Korean ashwagandha? Why not Siberian ashwagandha, right? So there has to be a flip, like to popularize more Indian medicinal plant. So I think that's the second part we have done. that popularizing Indian medicinal plant more onto the global platform, multiple benefit, as we all invited different Ayurveda practitioner from India, and listen their views and their practice, right? How they practice and all that. So that was a very interesting part, the second part. Really. And if people have missed out, all this information is on Zoom, Naveda's website, Naveda's Facebook page. Yeah, they can go and revisit. Wonderful information. There's so much information about Amla, Ashwagandha, Satavari, you name it, is there. So we are going to repeat that part again this year, like much more detailed kind of things and much more like in a simpler way that how everyone can use. So that's the second part. Now, finally, because we are celebrating for many years this Ayurveda Day. So last year, we have done it in a little bit in a larger way, in a more systematic way. With a kind support of Indian Consulate and Ayush Ministry is like is a leading around the world on this particular agenda. And last year agenda was the Poshan, which is the nutrition, right? So I still remember we had a wonderful Ayurveda recipe, right? The food, like it was a vegetarian food, but
Okay. Yeah.
but it was done like more by keeping the Ayurvedic principle. And I still remember, Mr. Lal, your friends, if Ricky is hearing this, I would definitely say, Ricky, you missed that food that day, right? Yeah.
It was absolutely delicious. Oh, everybody didn't know that healthy food or Ayurveda food could be so delicious. Yeah.
That's true.
Especially shorba. Everybody likes shorba. Too.
Yeah. No, I remember like Ricky keep telling me like, oh, I thought like what is the Ayurveda food is all like something medicine we are going to eat like that. They say like, no, like kind of thing. So this is like very interesting. Like we really need to make sure that when we say Ayurveda Ayurvedic principle based food, it doesn't mean the untasty or like a very healthy or like a boring food. It is a beautiful, like tasty food, right? Yummy, and you can enjoy it like that. So that's what good. But it's a very interesting interaction there in terms of the poster exhibition, I remember.
Mm.
Right?
Yeah.
So
I mean, it was it really gave a nice synopsis of what Ayurveda is.
yes. So people like they heard a lot about detox, again in the global scenario, but very few heard about panchakarma, right? So again we say like, okay, panchakarma is a detox basically, right? And it's a Ayurvedic way of detox. And there are a few countries those who are picking up slowly. But yes, it was our effort, and we continue that effort. So I was pretty impressed with that poster exhibition. And I remember like we covered panchakarma, we covered spices, right? So yes, this year one of the section I think we will cover spices. Yeah.
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah, because like usually the impression is like people take spices means very chilly, very hot, masalas and all those kind of things, and consider as a bad food. But it's other way around. Like so this year I think like one of the major focus will put like how useful spices are to keeping us healthy. So very special attention to spices this year. The other part which we like explain in the poster, something I still remember, like about mushroom. I think this one Indian university, like Lucknow University, one of the professor, they are working on mushroom. And I want to share with people like here in India, most of the universities started working, like they really working on mushroom very much. And India, even the culture of mushroom cultivation and farming is growing very fast. And now in many places, the mushrooms are available in the market, right? So that the concept like the mushroom, like Indian vegetarian dish or Indian dish actually do not include mushroom so far in such a great way, right?
Mm.
Whereas in China here, mushroom is and other part of the world is so good. So I think like we'll try to change people's mind and concept about the types of mushroom, the benefit of the mushrooms, and a fungus also. So that's another area we'll touch. So that was in our poster over there. Then obviously Ayurveda spa we remember. So like it's a kind of like uh, pain management, you can say, right? Many people have like a pain problem. So though they are okay, but they have like a back pain, knee pain, a muscle stress, and so many kind of like normal things. And I think like Ayurveda spa is one of the very good solution. Many of this, like many people I heard complain about migraine, right? So I think like we'll put like a lot of focus on Shirodhara and other stuff. So now when we are talking about nutrition, I just wanted to make sure that nutrition doesn't mean like what we eat, right? Is the thing is the nutrient, whether we apply as a skincare, we apply as an oil, we apply as a lape, or we eat or drink or smell, all are nutrition. That's the thing people need to understand, right? So
Mm.
even something you are smelling,
Mm.
you are getting the nutrition through the inhalation.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
this is very important to understand.
Yeah.
So we'll try to make it very interesting. We'll try, yes, exactly, right? So and we'll try to make it like very interesting this year by covering the different aspects. So very big focus on spices and showing the benefit, because during the COVID time period, everyone is talking about turmeric, right? Um, but the overdose of turmeric can also be like something wrong. But anyway, overall, the cinnamon is there, cumin is there, coriander is there. All these are beautiful spices, like which has a very strong cancer fighting ability or anti-cancer function, you can say. Not much talked about in a nutrition uh, text or articles, but there's a lot of scientific information available, and that will be our main focus. Okay, so we'll dedicate that. Mushroom, as we said, like the second one, like we'll really try to bring mushroom, and then we'll collaborate with like all the experts, those who are working on mushroom, and bring the things. So this year, what Mr. Lal we are going to do, we try to bring different professors also from various university, on board, to get like what they are doing in their laboratory in a research thing. Because like what happened, like most of the information we get through reading from article, right? But this year we try to hear from directly from the laboratory, that what exactly they are doing. And so then you know what is the current status. Status means like we are learning a lot in science, and how the science is going to be in next 5 years and 10 years, unfolding kind of things. And then I still remember like our key message during Ayurveda day was the scientific validation of the Ayurveda practice, right? So anything like which we have the observation based treatment, science is providing a very good tool to add the value or add the validation to it. So then the people can develop more trust. So last year, this is like one of the experience, I think like all of you have noticed, like many people take that science as talking against Ayurveda or against something. But I think like I want to correct to all those people, it was not against. We were talking in terms of using science as a tool to validate, so that people can get more trust, right? Because the logic here is today, a normal people, like normal people, they know like, okay, you go for MRI, you go for CT scan, you go for the sonography, and you can look inside your body, right? Then you do the blood test, you can see, there is a parameter. Whereas in Ayurveda, something like if you don't do that and you hold a nadi and then you say like, okay, your blood pressure is high and low. So how you can, it's not about right or wrong, how you can build a trust to the people that yes, that works, right? So it's more about gaining a trust, more about like communicating rightly with the people. So if the people understand that, the Ayurveda can flourish and grow very fast. And this is one of our objectives. So when we talk about nutrition this year, uh, obviously Ayurveda is our key focus because we mostly talking about the Indian value of nutrition. Okay. Then we move to the Asian version, because if you see the food in Asia is really very nice. Doesn't matter which country you move like India, you go to Indonesia, you go to China, there is a lot of food, right? There's a variety of food, like the variety of the vegetables, the seafood, and like, so when you see like combinations, whereas like there's a Mediterranean food talking about like very popular, and then they have like a different kind of olives or like red wines and cheese, they have a different set kind of thing. So different cultures brought a different food pattern, which has a different therapeutic values, right? So we talk about like the food culture around the world. So one topic will be around the food culture, like how South American food culture, right, is keeping them like so alive, vibrant. And again, like, see, you can see the happiness, like the smile on Mr. Lal's face, like the moment you say South America, yeah, because a very lively nature, like people are very happy kind of things. Like, so there's a question arise, like why people are so happy, right? So I think like I always believe like if your food is happy, definitely you're a happy person, right? So we'll try to relate the happiness with the food kind of things. And so that's the culture kind of things. The third thing here we're talking about. Fourth, I think like I would like to talk more about more in depth. We'll try to bring people about different segments, like say everyone talk about carbohydrate, sugar, right? There's a good sugar, there's a bad sugar. What is good sugar? What is bad sugar? Don't we think like sugar is sugar, right? So there are so many things. So looks like it's created, right? So we need to go like a little bit more in depth, and we can do a separate topic like, okay, today we talk about carbohydrate. So then at least everyone can understand like what is carbohydrate. Sometime we talk about the protein, and we talk complete about protein. Like when we talk about protein, uh, people even don't know like how many amino acid makes the protein, and how many essential amino acid, how many non-essential amino acid. And if your protein do not have certain amino acid, then your protein is not useful. So what kind of protein is useful, what kind of protein is not useful, all those kind of things, very important, right? Same like minerals, vitamins, all those kind of things. Further, we'll add a new vocabulary. New vocabulary means like there's a lot of word like which people are hearing. Antioxidant, people heard about it, but very few people have heard about adaptogens. Okay, secondary metabolites, bioactive chemicals. These are the new word, right? So, but this is a part of our nutrient, and more people learn about it, people can make their recipes much better. So we'll go more in depth about going from the conventional nutritional theory, which is like a carbohydrate, fat, protein, mineral, vitamins, right? We'll go beyond that. And so we'll talk more on a biochemistry level kind of things, like there's so many kind of nutrient, right? Maybe this essential oil, like, so we see that's the thing people have to understand, like there's a like say certain kind of essential oil, and there's a word called aromatherapy. Think about it, right? Why aromatherapy? It means like when you apply this essential oil, either through smell or vapor or through massage, it does some benefit to your body. So isn't it a nutrient?
Mm.
It is a nutrient, right? But this nutrient, so suppose like ylang ylang or lavender, this doesn't fall like when we say like nutrition, nutrient. So we only think about carbohydrate, protein, fat, mineral, vitamins. No one will think like, oh, let's use ylang ylang or like lavender or lemongrass or this essential oil. But these are also nutrient, right? So we have to change the definition of nutrient. Nutrient is everything around us which go inside in our body and feed our cell is the nutrient.
So whether that's topical or internal, right?
Yeah, exactly. And that's the new science. The third is very interesting part is maybe, like, I think like the animals are much smarter than the human being, because animals in jungle, they never die eating poisonous food. But as a human, we are so intelligent and we have so much food poisoning. We eat so much rubbish. We eat so much junk food.
So even did you say last time that animals don't get cancer in the
See,
jungle?
so obviously in a jungle, this is by and large, there's a study like animals are like much more resistant and much more healthier than as a human, because maybe sometime if you are less intelligent or more restricted uh, and less explorative, then you are safe. So I think like in the human behavior, what is happening, like more and more invention. So invention not always very positive, like positive kind of thing. Sometimes the invention go wrong, like in, inventing so many preservatives, chemicals, this and that, making food tasty, other stuff, a lot of new food creating. So invention is like causing a problem, right?
So that takes me to the topic of food safety. So will that be
Yes, there are two things will come here. One is the balanced food, balanced diet means like you see people are having the cake, right? People talk about eggless cake, but people don't talk about low GI index food cake. So in one cake, the way we see like the people, by and large, people celebrate, by and large, the cake they eat, they consume almost 1 month value of the sugar in one night, right? So these are the certain things. So people have to understand like the way Indians, we eat sweet. Everyone knows like we are the world capital of diabetes, right? So the people who are diabetes, go and ask them like what difficult their life is all about. Very common thing, like it sounds so easy. Oh, it's a diabetic. Oh, you have a hypertension. Sounds very simple. Okay. Oh, you have a back pain. But these are the people, ask them, those who have them, like this create their life so difficult. It's not that easy kind of things, right? And especially when Mr. Lal is here, and one of our main focus when people cross 50, right? And then go to the next level, the final leg of the life, that has to be very active, because there's no point of living your final year of life or last 10, 20 years of life on a wheelchair, or taking the stick, or like means on the support system, like depending on other people. That's not a life. So I think one of our main purpose is with our age group people, like be independent, like how you can be independent till we say goodbye to this world, right? So that independent behavior comes only when you are very much aware about your nutritional intake. And that's what happened when we are young, right? So most of the people, like, okay, say when we are very young or child, our parents control our diet, right? At least at our time period. And when we are by ourselves, we just don't control, we enjoy, right? But by the time we like enjoy 20, 30 years, we do enough damage to our body. And then when we come to retirement or like 50 plus, then all the things started happening and start putting the trouble. So these are basic perspective try to build for this year, like interesting topic and all those kind of the balancing kind of things. Now people go and eat outside in the restaurant. So I think like one of the topic is also will include very interesting that how to order the food in the restaurant. Okay, you are eating out fine, but in restaurant doesn't mean like your carbohydrate is so high and another thing is so low. That's what I notice. Like many people when they go to the restaurant, that if they know how to balance their protein intake or vitamins, minerals, and carbohydrate, then yes, go and enjoy by all means. But this is a personal observation. When people go to the restaurant, they have no idea. They eat 90%, 80% carbohydrate and 20% rest of the items. It's not good. It's not good. So I would not say like that is real enjoyment. So really want to, we will include the restaurant series where we'll educate the restaurant owners also like, hey, like train your staff over there that how to advise the customer to have a balanced diet with the proper calorie intake and all those kind of stuff. And on other hand, consumer also should know that when you go to the restaurant, how to balance your meal. So balance your meal at home, balance your meal outside, then okay, good, like, right? So that's make more interesting kind of things. That lead to what Veena said, most interesting, and we will touch all the time, super most thing, food safety. Food safety is so important that now we know, like because of like so many chemical fertilizers, pesticides, herbicides, artificial color, artificial flavor, preservatives, so much cancer, so many other diseases, so many unknown things are happening, right? Sometimes we call it the bothering disease. Many disease, they are not serious, but they affect your lifestyle, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I see in Hong Kong, a lot of people like to eat packaged stuff, like packaged noodles, packaged this, and they're constantly eating these kind of instant things.
Yes,
Only
exactly.
later to realize how harmful it is and cancer causing it is.
Yeah. So basically, like talking about like the processed food versus the fresh food, right? So, so again, the two aspect is that one is the processed food. So what kind of chemicals and other things are inside the processed food, going inside your body. And second is like, okay, if you have changed, like I'm eating fresh, then you also have to understand like the fresh food, like coming from which direction, whether it is safe or not, like in terms of the chemical pesticide and all those kind of things. We are going to include very interesting point also, which is a very controversial point, and most of the people when they hear, they get like, wow, hold on a second, they get a shock. But by now, like they are they started understanding. And this is like people by and large have a perception that organic food is safe as compared to like normal food, okay, because organic food do not have chemical, pesticide, and all those kind of things. But the new theory, the theory of organic food can be more dangerous and bad as compared to normal chemical fertilizer food. Why? Because people don't know the subject of the biotoxins. Because like compost are made by the bacteria, which is used as a manure for organic food growth, has a lot of toxins. So there's a big word of the biotoxins. So biotoxins are still bad chemicals. Chemicals are the man-made chemicals, right? So natural toxins, man-made toxins, both are toxins. So the idea is it's not organic or natural. It is about whether your food is tested for the food safety or not. So when the food is coming to your plate, whether it is properly gone through the food testing, safety test or not, right? So this is the thing we will include, and very interesting thing, we'll invite some expert to talk about that, right? But interesting part here is in the food safety, we come to the next thing that, okay, how, once you learn about food safety, then the question comes like how to buy the safe food. So how to learn the nutritional labeling. We have done this some in the past, but this year we'll do more about like help people to learn how to read the nutritional label, right? So that's the another thing. Like once people know how to read a nutritional label, then it will be like really, really good, because you can choose. I want to give you some example. Like when you go in a market and people say, okay, yogurt is good, like because you get a probiotic and all those kind of things, but they forget to see like, hey, read the label. And if you read the label, you can see how much sugar is there, how much cholesterol is there, how much trans fat is there. Okay, so what happened, like when you try to see one good thing and you ignore other stuff over there, that's where we slipped out. Okay, so we try to take the probiotic, but because people didn't want us for the trans fat, because trans fat is the one of the major culprit for the heart disease. Cholesterol, it's there. What's the benefit of that? So for example, so how to select, like, okay, we want to eat a yogurt, but we want to have the good yogurt. So how to find a good yogurt? The simple example, read the nutritional label. If the nutritional label is talking about, okay, this yogurt has a low cholesterol, low trans fat, or zero trans fat, low cholesterol, good probiotic, low cream or low carbohydrate or sugar kind of thing, or sodium, that's what is the yogurt to choose. Just one example, right? So people have a lot of choices if they know how to read nutritional labeling. Otherwise, if they don't know how to read nutritional labeling and they go with the one set, like, okay, it is good for probiotic, honey is good for this, and jaggery is good for that, and you go for a one single point and you pick up, then you can buy the wrong product. Okay, so how to buy the product, we will have that another good topic. Don't you think this will be very interesting topic here?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, lots of people, including myself, when I go, I get so confused about when I look at all the ingredients. There's so many ingredients which I don't understand. So then, until I'm not well educated or well aware, I will not know how to make the best choices for myself or my family.
That's true. So at least like we can run like a basic test about the nutrient, like basic list, like at least carbohydrate, cholesterol, trans fat, sodium, sugar. These are very important to understand, right? Because basic, very basic, and then people can go into detail. So that's a very interesting topic.
Yeah. I mean, I also have seen that, with my clients that come in for their hair loss issues and stuff, a lot of the time, when I ask them about what are they eating and stuff, and they go like, oh, we're eating a healthy diet. So I think, again, also educating people what is actually healthy versus what they think is healthy. When they say, oh, I'm eating healthy, I'm eating this, I'm eating fruits, I'm eating vegetables, but what is healthy actually? What should be known as healthy versus what people think is as healthy.
Yeah, I think like this year, that's what we will do. We'll move from the from generic word to the more specific definition. So that's what you are saying right now is a more generic, right? It's healthy.
Yeah.
It's very subjective word. Like, okay, what is the meaning of healthy, right? So what is the meaning of unhealthy? What is the meaning of healthy, right? So we have to be specific. If you are a be specific, then suddenly I remember one more thing. Yes, looking at Mr. Lal and his passion of wine and dine kind of thing. So we'll have a very a comprehensive topic on wine and cheese. Okay, because again is a basic impression that alcohol is bad or cheese is very fat. So we need to understand this very clearly. Like means yes, in the Mediterranean diet, cheese and wine, red wine is one of their very strong things. So we'll have a special session on wine and cheese, and that will like really open up people's eye in terms of like really therapeutic benefit of wines and cheeses, right? And its manufacturing process and all that, because sometime even you can make it at your home, so and you can easily understand, Mr. Lal, like why certain wines and other stuff is so expensive. Like you can't get a rum or other thing like the liquor is very expensive, but the wine can go very, very, very expensive, right? So that's the question, like why wines are so expensive, because of its fermentation. So that's what we include into detail and all those kind of things. And I think like many people will take interest on that, right? The other very interesting thing, yeah, you want to say something?
Yeah, I mean, now also functional food has become a very hyped up name. Everyone's talking about functional foods.
Yeah, so that is also a part of our this year. Definitely, we are going to cover. So, like when we say the wine or cheese, so it's a kind of like you can say like it's a functional food, but it's a natural functional food. Okay, but then there is a designer functional food. Designer functional food in the sense like we can make a cheese which is good for reducing the weight, right? So now, so funny, like people say, wow, what the hell you're talking about? Like cheese, how cheese can reduce the weight? Cheese, like we eat, we increase the weight. That's where the science has reached. Like, yeah, play other way around. It's possible. Like means enjoy, satisfy your taste buds and reduce the weight. That's the functional food. Okay, so functional food has a many category like food for a specific dietary requirement, therapeutic food. Okay, so food for a specific dietary requirement means someone like we heard like a lot of people are like glucose intolerance. Okay, so like okay, they are like those kind of food are there. Okay, lactose intolerance, those kind of food are there.
Gluten intolerant.
Yeah, gluten intolerance, those kind of things, food are there. So these kind of things are coming up. So these are the things called the food or like the like artificial sugar for the diabetic people. So these are the things like for food for a specific dietary requirement. Means like if you have a certain health condition, we don't eat certain kind of food and there is a special choice food are available for you. But other thing is we make the food, okay, like how to reduce the heart blockage or how to reduce the cholesterol, how to reduce the weight, right? How to sleep better, right? How to do the pain management, right? Everything can be solved through food. Okay, that's the functional food. So like in a technical field like us, so that is one of the advantage with me, like being a scientist. Like when I sit with my scientist fellows, right, inside the research setting, my language change entirely. But when I come to the community, my language change in a 180-degree, right? Because here I have to talk more like in a storytelling manner, whereas there is a very technical stuff, right? So that one of the idea I got it. No, if we only keep talking about research and teaching the university student, then the wealth of plethora of knowledge is staying within the campus, and that is why all the good things is not coming out. So there is many more scientists need to take initiative like me to come out and start talking to the community in a storytelling manner. Okay, so what happened, like when the people from the laboratory coming out and talking something their own experience, then it's not about reading from some book and then repeating it. Okay, so that is why whenever I give my speech, I said like whatever I say you cannot get like on Google or somewhere, because uh, uh, most of the information on a Google is like is an article. You can say it's an article which people repeat, and you can see many repeated or same language kind of same language, right? But you need someone who can explain you that how it is originated, right? So like for example, other day I was explaining to you, Veena, or someone like curcumin, like explaining to him about curcumin. So curcumin is like people understand like, okay, this is the chemical inside, nutrient inside turmeric, which is helpful. But then again, when we go more technical, there's a C3, means there are 3 curcumin peak. So curcumin, when you do some kind of like HPLC analysis, the laboratory like instrument, technical instrument analysis kind of thing. So the first peak has to be like this, second has to be like this, third has to be like that. Then only it is the best curcumin kind of thing. So these kind of things cannot be explained to the normal people, because that's language doesn't work for the people, right? So then we have to have a responsibility to tell people what kind of a best product available in the market. And that's why the food safety, functional food, food quality all matters, because it is a responsibility of the food manufacturer to make sure that they take the best stuff and supply to the consumer, and let consumer aware that you have a choice. So when you go, you have a choice to buy the best quality kind of things, right? So which suit to you. So that will be the another very, very in-depth layer this year we will touch, right? Now coming to the next very important part is, we'll go after the common nutritional theory, we'll go very specific case by case. Like this year, we are going to talk about the brain health. Okay, so all the things related to the Parkinson, Alzheimer's, dementia, stress, anxiety, sleeping disorder, panic attack, and then how the nutrition can correct it, right? So coming back to the functional food kind of thing, the functional food is actually a very, is a word where consumer can understand. But the technical people, they are talking the same thing, but they call it the clinical nutrition. Okay. So clinical nutrition, suddenly for the layman, it doesn't work. You see, like you can see. So if you are a normal person and say like, okay, I'm going to shop clinical nutrition or clinical nutrient, it doesn't relate to you. But then we say, hey, it's a functional food, you know, good for health, a layman language, very crude language, good for health, right? That's the language work. So idea is the same. The clinical is more focused to design and prescribe by the doctor, looking at your health condition. So we will have a topic where we'll talk about different health conditions. So like say brain health condition, heart health condition. Now in heart health condition, one of the things this year we would like to cover, that how a simple blood pressure, how the simple blood pressure can lead to the kidney damage, can lead to the eye damage, can definitely lead to the blockages, but also lead to the heart failure. So people don't understand that. People so far, if you go into the community and community like, oh, there is a heart problem. Heart problem means like they think like I have a blockage. But no, beside the blockage, there is a heart failure. Okay. And there is no solution of the heart failure so far. Like, so there are many medical conditions, there is no solution. Okay. The heart transplant is the only solution. But what is causing you in a simple way is a blood pressure. So that is why this year we are going to cover many such topic, which is a very simple word. But if you are really not careful, it lead to something very serious over the time period, right? And then how you can correct all this situation through the nutrient. So idea what we're trying to throw here, that if you watch your nutrient, if you understand your nutrient, you are a smart person. Okay. And that is why this year we give the key title, Your Diet Personality. We talk about, wow, this man has a great personality. Fine. You're a great personality. You have a big body, nice looking, handsome, beautiful, all this. But what is your diet personality? You're a great personality, but you have a very poor diet personality. It's something like IQ versus EQ. You may have a great IQ, but you have a bad EQ, then your IQ doesn't work very well. There has to be a balance between the IQ and EQ. So this is the thing. The big campaign this year is your diet personality. That you are a wealthy guy, you have a millions of dollars, you have a yacht, you have a private aircraft, you have a flats, like properties, all you enjoying your life. But hold on a second, wait a minute. What is your diet personality? If your diet personality is not good, are you going to enjoy all these things? Paradigm shift. Okay. So it is actually relevant to 80 is new 50, but doing it in a different direction.
That also brings me to the topic of food, also for food for your mind, food for your soul. Like what we also consume on a daily basis, not only while eating physical food, but what are we putting into our mind, our thoughts, our emotions, our spiritual food, even all that is food. So yeah, could really go on to even mind food and soul food.
Exactly. So that bring to the next topic. So I'm coming to that, but before that, like to cover that diet personality. So I think like this is everyone has to understand, and especially people, those who are very much into the physical appearance. Physical appearance is important, but you get the physical appearance by controlling your diet, by restricting your diet. Okay, you're manipulating your diet to enhance your physical performance. So you may have a great physical performance or personality, right? But your diet personality is very poor. So this is the thing, a big message to the people, that it is exactly same like IQ and EQ. IQ and EQ, if both are not balanced, IQ has no benefit to your life. And that is why you see like many people who like keep themselves very fit. So another topic, we talk about the fitness. What is the definition of fitness? It's a very, very generic terms again. So is your fitness is equivalent to your diet personality? Because when we talk about diet personality, we can define your age. Say, for example, someone is 70 years age. So at the 70 years of age, the brain should not be 90 years. Or I give the better example, like is a better example is 50 years. So 40 years, like let's say, it's like, so your physical age is 40 years, but brain becomes 65. Your liver become the age of 75. Okay. Kidney is already working at 80, right? So on an average, if we survive, like say 75, 80 years, like you are only 40, means within next 10 years, your half of the organ is already out of your average lifespan. And that's where the trouble comes in. And that is the secret of diet personality. Because your diet, eat well, live well, means you align your whole body. We talk like mind, body, and soul. But this year we are going to add a new campaign into it. You align your brain, your heart, your liver, your pancreas, your kidney, your spleen, your gallbladder, your stomach. You need to align this. When you align this, that's what is keeping your physical body rolling, right? Then you can talk about like the mind, right? So when you say body, what is the definition of the body? So we go more deeper into the body definition, because again, body is very generic. So in body, we will go specifically, we'll talk about the organ basis. So liver health. So what kind of like food we need to eat, what kind of nutrition is required, right? So that's how. And then like brain, liver, heart, we talk more about it. It's a very interesting kind of thing. And then Veena, as you're saying, like we'll go the energy side. Because even in science, people talking about quantum physics. In Ayurveda, we're talking a lot about like the sound therapy. The sound therapy is very well known, basically, right? So we as an Indian, we talk about Gayatri mantra, Om, and all those kind of things. But there's a lot of research being done on different kind of a symphony, and the music, different music has a great impact on things. And sound play a very significant role of healing. So brain pharmacy kind of things, like your mind is your healing kind of things, and your self-healing power and all those kind of things. So that's where we'll try to move, because that's what exactly you said. That is also our nutrition. Nutrition means we are going to change the definition of nutrition. We are creating a new definition of nutrition. Nutrition means everything which comes to your body and heal your body, keep you happy, keep you healthy, keep you vibrant, uh, uh, keep you like as a nice person, like everything kind of things, right? So this is an interesting part. Our this year nutrition campaign is not only protein, carbohydrate, fat, minerals, vitamins. It's beyond that. It's a universe of nutrition. Okay. So I think
So
like,
I also, maybe you want to even share about the integral part of it, where how food can impact health, the environment, and social health as well. That's
yeah, obviously, like that is like the vision, and for many years that is my passion, and I keep talking about it to the people, and I'm bit strict about it myself, because and that is the reason, like I try to inspire and influence many people on that particular subject, and I call it shame, right? And shame means like, you see farmers, the societal rate of the farmers in the poor country is very, very high. Okay. And farmers are the people who create a food, right? Who grow the food for us, and who we consume. So if the person has a capacity, a financial ability to buy the food, they buy the food and they are enjoying the food. They are laughing, having a party and all those kind of things. But the person who grow that food for you didn't have enough money to survive their family. Okay. So tonight you are enjoying a food, but the person who grow the food for you is sleeping without food. This is a shame, right? So people, those who are living in a wealthy atmosphere, they can never think about it. So this is the spiritual aspect of things. Like, you need to be like a little bit more spiritual. Spiritual means not about meditation, God, or universe and all those kind of things. Spirituality is also about, like, you are aware about your surrounding, what is happening around you, right? You are concerned person. You are conscious. You are concerned. You are caring. You are giving, right? So once you see that, then you understand. So with this particular shame kind of things, I said, really shame. It's a shameful society where we are living in, because we don't think, we don't relate. So the whole moral has created from there. So yes, we are going to talk about it, on which the Naveda's value is also based. Naveda is a value-based wellness center. So in our single supply chain, how we can address three key values of everyone's life. And in three key values is, first is like the human health. So unless we are healthy, we cannot operate very well. We have to take care of the planet health, because we are consuming two important, doesn't matter how rich or poor you are, but water and oxygen we are taking from the planet. No one can say like, I have my own oxygen. No, oxygen we are breathing from the planet, right? So we are taking the planet, we have to respect for the planet. And third is what, as I said, like social disparity. Like, some people are really rich, so much money, they don't know what to do with their wealth. On other hand, there are people with no money, they are sleeping without food. So this disbalance is there, right? So our whole project is like that, that people should get a little bit aware. You enjoy your life, you respect your life, fine, but we'll help you to understand, to respect the planet, and we help you to become like a more caregiving kind of person, so like you can contribute something in the social dynamics like that, right? So in other way, I say like, okay, we have a three there's a the three global crises going on: the health crisis, environmental crisis, and social crisis. So through this our nutritional program, we try to address these three crises also. So we integrate all the three things as a one key chain. So this year, like last year, Mr. Lal, we use as like, that's not a rice word we use at, like you were our brand ambassador of 80s New 50. You became our role model. And yes, thank you very much. Many people got inspired from you, including myself. And I salute to you for your vigor and your happiness and all those kind of the way you live. Yes, very motivating and inspiring. This year, yes, Veena's mom sharing like on 30th, she is reaching 75. So that is her 75 successful achievement. And she is a passionate lady. She has shown a lot of, passion. Her passion is about food, right? So this year, we'll celebrate food, dedicating to her on 30th of January. And then we'll try to bring like a lot of such role models from around the world, what we exactly did last year with 80's New 50 campaign. So I think like this is a nice snapshot, like what is the whole year we are going to do. But yes, one thing is missing finally. This year, we are going to make more dynamic our thing. So last year, the way we have done Ayurveda Day, but this year we are going to do like Yoga Day, Ayurveda Day. We are going to do a lot of temple activities. We are going to do like a lot of singing activities. We are going to do like much more activities. So like it's a filled with so many events and activities, like something every month to look forward kind of things, right? So what do you think, like Veena and Mr. Lal, about this particular kind of a structure? Because this is a kickoff introduction of our diet personality, which I explain as EQ versus IQ kind of things, eat well, live well. So I think we are going to inspire millions of people this year again around the world. And if you have any input, what I said into this, please share with.
Yep. So definitely, I mean, I'm excited. I'm sure I'm really excited about our upcoming time together, where we're going to be celebrating, learning, educating, inspiring, empowering, not only ourselves, but many millions of people around the world. And I'm excited to meet. I'm excited to meet all those people who I don't know who I'm going to meet, but I know I'm going to meet really wonderful thought leaders, people, transform lives. And it looks really exciting. It feels exciting. I'm excited. And Mr. Lal, you have, I'm sure this is going to keep you alive for the next 20 years or more.
Yes, more, I think. Yes, thank you, doctor. I enjoyed your talk, informative talk, and I'm sure all of my friends and all, they have also enjoyed this. Thank you so much. Yeah.
I think this year, we'll make sure like all your friend must join you on this journey, and will transform them like you. And we create a many more role model. And I know you guys' weakness, wine and cheese. So we'll keep that in a top priority like that, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Yes.
Just like I think Rita said, bite-sized learning, and then transform them to having lots of engagements with food, healthy food, nutritious food, and nutritious wine and dining.
Yes. Keep it up.
1 hour event, 10-15 minutes talking, and then 45 minutes like you have your fun.
Yes, wonderful. Yeah. That sounds
great.
That sounds
so we keep this structured. So this is a message for our audience. Like this was an introductory session today, where we just share a kind of a snapshot for rest of the year program. And the titles of the seminar of the event will be released very soon, exactly like last year. What we have done, like every time before every Thursday, we have released the title, and then the people join either Zoom or it's a live on Facebook as well. And this time what we are going to do, like we'll encourage you to join a little bit earlier connect with us, send your questions, your queries, so we can, like, in our conversation, we can include your queries in advance. So and then this year, another thing what we are thinking, like, those who are like really okay, I say in this way, last year what we used to do, like, when we finish the discussion, at the end of the discussion we allow other panel participant to come in and talk a little bit. But this year what we can do, maybe with our panel, we'll select 5 or 6 people who have a good number of questions and curiosity, like curious questions and passionate about their field. They are doing something like that, so we'll involve them and we try to have some interaction as well. So we have a role model, thought leaders, and then the concerned and conscious people. So very dynamic model. What do you say, Veena, about that?
Yep, sounds like a plan.
Okay, great. All right. So I think we end over here today. So
Thank you
anything
so
left
much.
you want to
No,
say? Yeah.
no, thank you so much. And we
Look
look
forward
forward
to see you next week.
seeing you at the same time next week with many more interesting topics and people, and yes, a very different way of a different format coming up for sure.
Good. Thank you very much.
All
See you
right.
next week.
Okay.
Bye-bye.